Hello and welcome to No Todo Se Cura Convicks. My name is Maggie.
And I am Jessie.
I'm Heidi.
Before we begin, we want to give our disclaimer. This podcast is not intended to be used as a therapy session. We are sharing our experiences, journeys, and the resources that helped us. We strongly encourage our listeners to find a licensed therapist if they are being called to start or to dig deeper into their self-discovery journey.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that reminder.
Yes.
So for those of you who don't listen to our podcast but view it on YouTube, you might be wondering, why are we on Zoom?
Oh, yeah.
And it's not because of COVID. All right. We don't have COVID.
Ay,
But
gracias a Dios.
COVID free.
yes. Pero desafortunadamente, my cat passed away. And he was part of our family. We had him for about 14 years. And it has been really hard. It's been a really hard to grieve. Like, this is really like my first time having a pet. My 1st time. We didn't have pets when I was a little girl. So I've never experienced losing a pet. And it's like literally like losing a family member. Like, it's very sad. And you go through the whole grief process, like the denial, the anger, the sadness, the missing him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been a little bit difficult. And I wasn't able to go to the studio and record because it happened during that weekend. So we decided to record through Zoom because we want to stay honored to our listeners and stay motivated and
keep
here we
bringing
are.
you content.
Yes.
Keep bringing you
committing.
laughter and
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
this is exactly when we need to push through. And I'm so sorry to hear about your cat. You know, you're absolutely right. They do become part of your family. So
Yeah. It's a
in
very
cat
sad
heaven, protecting
Yes.
and rooting for this podcast too.
Yes. He was bilingual.
Yes. So yes, very important to stay committed to things that bring you laughter and community. And this is why we do what we do, because regardless what we go through in life, we need to find those things that bring us happiness, joy, and when you don't feel alone. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the support. Yeah.
Yes.
And this is something also for those of you who live in New York. For those of you who live in the Northeast, winters get bad. So there are going to be times that unfortunately we're not going to be able to go to the studio and record, and we might have to do Zoom. So it's also like learning how to do this and navigating new ways of still being able to do the podcast.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So thank you, Jessie, for let everybody know what's happening. We'll keep you guys on your toes, and you'll see us one day on the studio, one day at home, one day, you never know. We'll keep it interesting.
Hasta en the middle de la calle.
Ay, sí, tú nunca sabes.
En Hebrón no, porque en Hebrón te
Nos
llevan
llevan en los motores.
Esa está loca ahí. ¿Quién la manda a ella?
Con estos
¿Quién ha visto
micrófonos
eso?
en el medio de la calle con su juca.
Usted
Tal
anda
vez con
buscando
una
que se la
juca no
lleven.
Yes.
So this is a very good topic. This is part of our relationship series, and it's a goodie because after los novios, ¿qué es lo que pasa, Jessie, Maggie?
Bueno, si no te votan o si tú no votas, I guess, you move in together and then you get married. It becomes maridos and then esposos.
Eso es it's a few steps. So primero es un novio escondido. Si no se dejaron, si todavía funcionó el noviazgo escondido, llegó a lo público, entonces se convierte en marido. Even if you're not living together, you could still be living with mom, and he could still be living with his family. But if you're having sex, ese es tu marido.
Tu
Yeah.
marido.
And
Oh,
if you
yes.
grew up with old school Dominican parents and
Mhm.
you're living with your mom and you're having sex with your boyfriend and she gets a whiff of that, she's going to be like, you're going to have to go now and live with your
Oh, sí.
marido
Mhm.
because
I
you're
see.
having sex. Why are you here?
Mhm.
I see it. Those are
Yes,
rules.
those are rules. Sí. Sí.
So that's exactly what this is about. Like, what does that even mean? So we're gonna get into the subject. So como ustedes saben, we're Dominican, so every culture has their own little thing, right? And how the marriage should work, cultural situations. And in the Dominican Republic, nosotros, there's a lot of machismo. There's been for many, many years. And there's like a cultural, like gender situation going on, gender roles. So the woman is to be a certain way and the man is supposed to be another way. So los hombres, ustedes saben, trabajan, son, la cabeza de la casa. They take care of
Dique.
everything. Dique, okay? Pero así fue que en cultura, así fue como que lo pusieron,
Yeah.
a lot of like the patriarchy situation going on. And women are like considered, less than, but thankfully that's not something that we experience, but that's something that people in Dominican Republic have experienced in the past. And still there's some.
Yeah,
Bueno.
it's still, porque, not to interrupt you, pero hay todavía gente que dicen, like, you could be unhappy, pero si tu marido trabaja, si no anda en la calle, he's a good man. Why are you leaving him?
Exactly.
Oye, y te respeta, right? Because God forbid, like that, like he shouldn't. Yes.
Even if he has a whole different family somewhere.
Yes. Yes. Y te
Like
respete, no un hombre que está en la calle. And he could be so emotional detached.
I see.
And just be.
Or even like emotionally abusive.
Emotionally abusive. Yeah.
Verbally abusive.
And
It's like so much.
And because he works and he takes care of you and he respects you, he's good.
Yeah. And most importantly, providing,
Yes.
because for many years, women weren't able to work. They didn't have rights the way we didn't have rights here, women in this, before the 60s and stuff like that. So they went through the same kind of situations where they didn't have rights. So men, they were the providers. En ese tiempo, they would go work. Women were to take care of their children, make sure that the house is well kept up, make sure that everything was well done. And even though our parents didn't experience those kinds of rules, there was still a lot of things that they did when we were growing up that we look at them like, what? Like, uno está supuesto a hacer cierta cosa de que para mantener el esposo. And if they leave you, that's your fault too, because that means you weren't doing your job. It's like,
weren't doing
if you got fired from work,
you weren't taking care of him.
The only time that it would be, in some cases, the only time that it would be okay to leave your husband if he's not providing or if he's beating you. Because I don't even think like cheating. It's like, ay, tú sabes, así son los hombres.
Tú sabes que los hombres son débiles. Y hay mucha tentación en el mundo. Esas mujeres andan tentando.
Atentando constantemente.
Because men are so weak that
Y
they
ese
can't
pobre
control
hombre,
themselves.
por eso uno tiene que hacer tantas cosas para mantener el matrimonio, you know?
And then it'll probably go back to, y eso porque tú trabajas mucho, tú trabajas demasiado, tú no cuidas a ese marido.
It's your fault. It's your fault. So basically, like, that's what's happened in a lot of the, when it comes to maridos and esposos. So I wanted to share like a little bit, and maybe we can all share our own little experience when it came to like relationships. And one of the relationships that I had, the most like longest relationship I had, was with my daughter's father. And that was my legit, like, we lived together. And that was my first experience being a woman, de que cuidando de que mi esposo, mi marido, right? So I'm here mirroring de que a mami, like, oh, yo llegué de la casa, déjame cocinar de una vez, like, I was de que that was my title, y ya yo estoy de que una mujercita seria, and I cannot go.
Hay que cocinar.
El jangueo paró ahora mismo. Yo soy una mujer respetable. You know, so I'm here trying to
Una
like
mujer de su
live up
casa.
Una
de
mujer de
su
su casa, una
casa, no de
mujer
la
sí,
calle.
no de la calle.
Nadie puede
Ujú.
decir que yo andaba en la calle.
No.
I mean, I don't know who's like looking, being like, oh, there she is on the streets.
Shit, what I was doing.
Una
Pero
mujer,
yo así traumatizada de que I gotta be like a respectable, you know,
una mujer de su
wife.
hogar.
De su hogar. So I wanted to like keep the tradition. That's that what I was supposed to be doing. Pero eso me estaba volviendo loca. That wasn't for me. I was so tired. How can they do this all day? The same thing every day cocinando. Los muchachos,
It's
que
like
que el otro
being-
mapeando. Oh my
I'm
God.
so glad you said that because it's like being on a hamster wheel
I
I
see.
all day long, all day long. It's like the most boring shit in the world.
I see.
Oh my God. I don't know how they did it. So I was being depleted. And mind you, I was with my ex. We were together for a long time. Nunca en su vida me ha dicho cocina. You need to cook. Never. He never told me to clean. He never told me to do anything. This was all embedded in my brain that I thought that I had to do. He would tell me like, yo, stop, you're bugging. Like, yo, you're crazy. You're tired and you're going to get up to do this?
You're
like,
crazy.
yo era loca. And I'm like, what? This is what I'm supposed to be like. What are you talking about? So it was like, I was so confused. It was a lot to figure out stuff. So like, what was your, like, that was my experience. When Alicia was born, it was even worse because here I am trying to be a mother, trying to be a wifey, trying to figure who I am. And I was lost in every category, just trying to do my best. But that was very difficult because I had these expectations on myself as to what I should be because of that. That's the way I grew up thinking that that's the way I should be. So what was your experience out of curiosity? Like, how did you manage that? And what kind of beliefs did you bring with you?
It's so crazy because, you know, después que, like I think in our previous session con los novios escondidos, I share this, que inmediatamente que my parents found out that I was having sex, they were like, usted se tiene que, ya, usted, ese es tu marido, tú tienes que vivir con él. So we moved in together. And it's crazy because when we were dating, yo no era así. Pero, de que yo me mudé, it's like you said, como que una persona, like my mother took over. Like I just was like, I'm going to do everything that my mom does and everything that she would say. Because remember, they even tell you as a little girl, cuando tú ya sabes pelar un plátano, ya tú te puedes casar.
Ya tú te puedes casar.
Cuando tú sabes limpiar un baño, ya tú te puedes casar. So that's drill. Y mira, aquí, metido. You don't even know. It's fucking, it's like it's a zombie. It's subconsciously. It
comes out. It comes out like, like it's been there all along. It's like, here I am. Welcome. Llegó señora Heidi a limpiar y a cocinar.
So yo me puse, eso era yo, mira, todos los fines de semana, cuando llegaba del trabajo, cocinar, de todo, lavar, limpiar. Yo le servía a él.
Yo también.
Yo le servía. Yo le servía, él llegaba del trabajo y yo lo sentaba en su mesa y le servía. Oh my God. You know, in therapy, it took a while for me to like my 20-year-old, porque yo le tenía un pique a esa 20-year-old tan pendeja. Pero, oye, pero lo más drástico era que él trabajaba los sábados. And I didn't work on Saturdays. So my mom used to live nearby. So los sábados yo me levantaba, limpiaba mi casa, of course, porque tú no sales de tu casa con un reguero.
Los sábados son dedicados por la mañana. Si tú no tienes un salón, tú estás limpiando tu hogar.
Sí. So yo todo limpio y después voy a visitar a mami. Me pasaba el día ahí, la tarde, we used to go to stores. Sometimes we used to go to 34th Street. My mother used to love going to 34th Street.
Damn, you had energy to do all that?
I used to hang out with my mom. Isn't that crazy?
Nice. In your 20s.
In my 20s. Because everybody else was chilling and having fun.
And you were doña now,
una
so you know you
doña,
couldn't do
sí.
that.
No, una muchacha respetable, así mismito.
Yes. So yo me recuerdo que él salía de trabajo a las 6 o a las 6. So ya a las 4 de la tarde, yo le decía, mami, yo me tengo que ir, que él llega a las 6, yo tengo que irme a cocinar. Y ella me decía, sí, mi hija, vete a cocinarle a tu esposo.
Oh my God.
Y yo me iba y esa comida tenía que estar lista para que cuando él llegara del trabajo, ahí estaba su comida y su soda y
Todo preparado
Y
con
su
hielo y de
soda,
todo.
su
con
soda
hielo y de
con
todo.
hielo y todo, mi amor.
Mira, una presentación
Ujú.
óptima. Una
Damn, guys.
presentación. Yo hacía lo mismo, mira, he cubierto
Ujú.
todo,
Sí,
su agua
todo.
con hielo.
Sí,
Guys, ustedes estaban entrega a su
entregar.
rol de
Tú
doña.
no, yo que I had to go to therapy to heal my 20-year-old.
Damn. Well, I don't know. My experience is quite different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dime tu experience.
I grew up, as I've said it before, I spent a lot of years in DR and I spent my teenage years there. And I had my high school boyfriend who was not un novio escondido, who I was like, I was 16. I was like, I feel like this is an appropriate age to have a boyfriend. So I'm going to try to make this, you know, a real thing. And
A real thing.
I'm gonna try to make this a real thing.
And you know, he was a wonderful guy. He was in college. I was in high school, and we met at the gym. And we dated all through my high school years. And I always made it very clear when I graduate high school, I'm moving to New York. I made it very clear. Like I was like, I'm not staying here. And I think one of it was because yes, I wanted to run away from my house. But the other is I knew I stay here. This is a great guy. He was. There's nothing wrong with him. Smart, great. But what's going to happen is I'm going to start going to college in DR. Before graduating college, I'm going to get married. I'm going to have some kids, and that's going to be my life. And I was like, I will die. Like I couldn't see myself doing that. I was like, I need to go. I need to have fun. So, you know, that's what I did here. When I met my husband, I was like 23, 24. We didn't move in together till probably like 25. And I feel like I know that whole thing that you guys are talking about, but I didn't experience that. Him and I really like split responsibilities. If I wanted to hang out with my friends after work, I would do that. And I remember one time
Es que tú eres una millennial.
and I remember one time my father
Es verdad.
my parents were like, pero
We
ella
didn't
es
have that.
una mujer casada, de que
We
con
paved the way,
amiga.
Jesse.
We did. We paved the way for you.
I guess so, yeah. But you
Mhm.
know, and you know, we used to split everything. If I wanted to hang out with my friends, I've even went on vacations with my friends by myself without him.
No, honestly, that's the way it should be. That's actually what I wanted. That's what I dreamed of one day.
However,
Yeah.
however,
Get to that point, yeah.
when I stopped working, everything changed. So we had like these unspoken agreement when we were both working where, you know, everything was like 50-50 with the house and everything. And then all of a sudden I realized that I am doing everything. And no one is like, we never had that conversation. So we even went to couples therapy. And yes, I asked my husband, can I say this? And he's like, yes, you can say it. It's fine. So I want to put that out there.
Pero tú no estás diciendo nombre. Nosotros no sabemos quién es tu esposo.
We went to couples therapy.
Don't say the name.
Because when I stopped working, a lot of things changed, not only financially, but now like the gender roles in the house change out of nowhere. And the therapist was like, you know, so a lot of the times that can happen where it's like, you know, when one person stops working, it's like you start to bring in things from your childhood that you saw your parents doing. And I guess my husband his mom was a housewife and she would do everything. And even like if something was missing from like food, whatever, she would buy it. Where I grew up, my mom, yeah, she was at home, but for example, and she did a lot of the cooking and, all of that stuff. But my father always made sure, like before he went to work, he opened up the fridge and he makes sure, okay, we're missing this, we're missing that, we're missing this.
My
and
father
he will
would
bring
do the
it.
groceries. Yep.
So
Wow.
so Will is like expecting
Mhm.
me to be, I guess, a model of his mom, and I'm expecting him
Yeah.
to be a model of my dad. But we're not having this
Wow.
conversation.
No, pero mira, yo le decía
Wow.
at first, eso
That's
sí, mira,
huge.
yo hacía
That's
todo,
huge,
mira,
'cause
yo
you do that.
cocinaba, lavaba y todo,
Mm.
pero I always used to tell him that, mira, mi papá se levantaba a las 5 de la mañana y chequeaba la nevera a ver qué es lo que falta y botaba la basura. You need to do that. It was so crazy because I was doing my mom's
Wow.
thing,
Yes.
but I would tell him, you need to do that. That's what my father used to do that. He used
So
to
when
check
we
the
went to
refrigerator.
therapy, we were like, holy shit.
Mhm.
We never had this conversation. We're bringing these things from our childhood and we're both getting irritated. And then we had to be like, okay, so we need to, what are our roles now? And when I was not working, I said, I have no problem cooking and cleaning and doing the laundry, but I'm like, like Jesse said, you need to, I am not throwing out any garbage.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mhm.
your job.
Mhm.
And if you see that there's milk missing, that there's Cheerios missing, it is your job that either after you come out from work at whatever point, if you're going to be outside, you need to bring it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my
Split
father.
the responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up like that too. Like whatever was missing, my stepdad would go get it. Like they split the thing. I didn't grow up so much with, the same kind of beliefs, but I did see a lot of, like you said, the patterns, like the cleaning. The woman does the cleaning. The woman does this. She does the shopping.
Mhm.
They go shopping together every Saturday morning too, or Sunday para Washington Heights a buscar all the
Sí,
sales.
todo. Ay, Dios
20
mío.
plátanos.
Sí.
20 plátanos. Y si tú gastabas 100 pesos, te daban un galón de
De
aceite o el arroz.
O el
5
arroz.
libras
Oh
de
my God,
arroz.
I
Yo, they
remember
used to go all the way to
that.
Washington Heights to do
Yes,
groceries.
once a month.
¿Quién iba a comprar en Full City en D'Agostino's downtown?
Yeah.
Díganme. Esos
Yeah.
plátanos de que 3 plátanos por 10 pesos.
Yeah. And it's so true. It's so crazy you say they used to do groceries together because I do groceries with my husband.
That was a big thing with my ex.
Yeah. I do
That
groceries
we would go
husband.
to Pathmark. We would drive to Pathmark with Alicia Chiquita and do our little grocery shopping. And it's like a tradition that I also, and even dinner. There was always at least once a week that we would sit together to have dinner.
We
That's
do
huge
that.
with my mom. And then I started doing that too with my ex. And now even Alicia's like, oh, we need to have Sunday dinner. We should all sit together. And even if it's just me and her, or just me and my niece, I'm sitting down with somebody or by myself, I eat dinner. I'd have it by myself because something that I carry with me. Yeah.
We do that. We have, now that I'm working, I work like evenings a lot of days, but at least 2 to 3 days out of the week, we do family dinner.
Nice.
It's so important.
And my husband brought something that it's very beautiful and Mateo loves it. And it's like we sit down and before we eat, we all say one thing that we are grateful for.
Oh, that's cool.
And Mateo,
that is so adorable.
What was it? I think it was Sunday or Saturday. He was like, Papa, come on. And he goes, okay, I am grateful for my family. And
I call you
dinner. And I was
lindo.
like, that's so beautiful. And I was like, that's so beautiful. Yeah.
It is. That's how you build
I love that.
traditions. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you spoke about once you stop working, right? How the roles change. That happens also when you work from home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You gotta experience that too.
It's something like they believe you're home, so you can actually do it, right? Like it took a while in my marriage for him to kind of understand, like, holy shit, like, no, you're actually working, like you're busy. Yeah, it's but at first it was like, oh, when you have time. Yes.
And I'm pretty sure just for you as a Dominican woman, that probably cannot stay still for the life of you because it's already embedded in our like bodies. But I know that trying to juggle work and home when la cocina está en mimito, que tú puedes poner un plátano de un fruto, try to, do something real quick y poner una
Oh, I
cosa
do it
para
all
lavar
the
de pronto.
time.
Just to like, and juggling, just to like, okay, let me kill at least 2 birds with one stone.
I cleaned the bathroom today in between sessions.
Oh, yes.
Mhm.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Yes.
So I know it's difficult, which brings
Mhm.
me into the next topic here, right? So we have us women, ¿verdad? We're supposed to be less than when it comes to all this stuff. But yet, now more than ever, there's like women that are really succeeding. Our Dominican women are really, Latinas in general, are really getting out there and being more creative. They're becoming entrepreneurs. They're becoming business owners. And in our culture, la dominicana ya estaban acabando con sus salones y sus restaurantes. They've been like, they've
That's
been
true.
business owners from the
In-
get.
mhm.
Like
La
they don't,
bodega.
la bodega, they don't be playing.
Mhm.
They come into this country too and they build their business. They do what they got to do para tener también su negocio allá en Santo Domingo o propiedades. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is like, it's so crazy that even though the gender roles have changed. Now las mujeres están trabajando, they're getting creative, they're getting these businesses. Why does it still feel like we still have to maintain the same responsibilities regardless? Like, si los hombres están trabajando como hacían antes, que llegaban de que cansados del trabajo y les sacaban la cena para que vengan y se sienten en el sofá a ver la noticia, right? A woman that's coming home from work still got to come home and cook most of the time. They still
Yeah.
got to do the stuff with the children's homework and the parent
Yeah.
teacher and checking the kids' notebooks. Y toda esta vaina.
Yeah.
Like, it's very frustrating because if she is mostly about her career or mostly about like, whatever she's doing, if she's neglecting her mother or is not doing as expected as a Dominican woman for their husband or their child, she's like not good at all. Like, why can't the man step in and that be okay? And that's
Yeah.
confusing. What's your take on that?
Well, I feel like in our culture, and maybe even beyond our culture, to be a good man, you don't have to do much.
No,
you have
don't.
to work and provide for your
Mhm.
family
Mhm.
and not beat your wife, of course.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's it.
That's it. You can even cheat
Yeah.
and you still be considered a good man.
You're providing,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
But for women, it's like, it is so hard because it's like you need to be extraordinary.
Mhm.
You need to be superwoman. You
Mhm.
have to do it all without
Mhm.
complaining. How dare
Mhm.
you fail? How dare you complain? Okay.
How
Mhm.
dare you have emotions?
Exactly.
Mhm.
How dare you complain about your kids? Those are blessings. How dare you compare about
Your husband.
yes.
Mhm.
So it's like you have to be so much to
Yep.
be considered a good
A
woman.
good woman. You have to be a good daughter, a good
Yes.
sister, good de
Yes.
todo.
De todo.
todo,
You have to be on
todo.
point with everything. On point.
Work, the laundry, que esto, the
Mhm.
bills, que it's a lot,
Yes.
And when you're children alone,
Or a lot.
pick
Yeah.
up.
And don't get me wrong, right? Because if there's any males listening to us, we're not trying to trash you, right? Like there are some
No.
really like men now are making changes and they are very like supportive and they support, like you guys already know, like when I decided that I was going to quit my job and I went back to school, like my husband was in charge of the household and supporting me with the kids and everything. So we're not saying, that there are men out there that that do, kick ass.
Yeah.
But it's not
Absolutely.
all.
No.
Listen, we're not feminists here.
No.
We
And
love feminists,
Yes.
but we're not feminists.
Yeah.
But we also will have a men's version of this, okay?
Yeah.
Trust me, we love you.
Yeah. But you know what? And don't get me wrong, he did amazing work, but he was so praised that he was doing that. He was just, not for nothing, but he was just really like taking care of his kids, like what I was doing, right? But he was so praised. Mira ese hombre, mientras tú estudias, mientras tú trabajas, mira, cuidando a los muchachos, mira, limpiando el baño. Wow, pero qué esposo. They don't say that about me.
No.
Because that's why
No.
you should. What you want to get praised for what you have to do? That's your job. You're whining.
Pero eso es lo que una mujer hace,
Listen,
Yesenia.
I don't know where I was going, but I was waiting for the express bus. And there's this girl who's probably my age, and she's speaking to somebody that's older and having a talk. And I think she was gonna go watch Barbie. I was so into this.
You all up into their
honestly.
conversation.
And
Ear
she's
hustling. She was ear hustling. She was like,
she's like, I'm gonna go watch Barbie, whatever, with my friends. And the gentleman goes, oh, where are the kids? And she goes, oh, they're with dad. And he goes, oh, dad is babysitting. She goes, no. We don't call it that. Dad is doing what dad has to do. Because when I say
babysitting, if it's
goes,
your child.
when the kids are with me, we don't say mom is babysitting. Dad is not babysitting. Dad is doing dad things. And the guy is like, oh, you're right.
Yeah, gender roles have changed. It's not the same.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with Jesse. A lot of men have changed. Again, we're talking about traditions, not necessarily. We're not pointing fingers. We're not saying that this is you. Don't take this for you. This has been, just cultural things that we've seen, grown up seeing, not necessarily have experienced, but this is what, has been part of our culture.
And don't get me wrong, Heidi, like they support everything. They make sure that they take care of the cleaning the house, taking the kids. But, I'm going to get in trouble for this. We might get some messages.
Ay, Dios.
Bueno. Ay, Jesse.
Pero al fin del día, la mujer todavía hace mucho más.
Oh, yeah. Women kick ass.
Mucho más.
No, absolutely. I mean, we do it all. We do it all. Again,
más.
We're not feminine.
Listen.
Pero es verdad, las cosas. Listen, en un hogar, un hombre necesita una mujer. Ustedes necesitan su mujer porque ustedes no pueden sobrevivir solo. Es imposible.
We're gonna get hate messages.
Bring them on.
But we're all about love.
Listen,
we love
of course, we love everybody. We love men. But
el hombre necesita una mujer, y la mujer necesita su hombre. But we could do without men right now.
Es que yo sé que la Biblia, que la tradición dice que el hombre es la cabeza del hogar.
Yo no tengo ningún hombre en este hogar.
No.
So
Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you something. The Bible says that, and I feel like it needs to add like a little excerpt to it and be like, but really, women are in charge.
Yeah, like hello, like think about it. Really think about it, and maybe not for everyone.
That is a woman, Ariana Grande.
Not for everyone, pero who was the fucking CEO in your house? Like, who had the last say?
It is me. I am.
But even when you were growing up, who was
my
it?
mom? My mom.
Mommy. Mommy planned the trips. Mommy made sure that everything was happening. Mommy,
which is
los muchachos, que todo, mommy.
Which is interesting because now that my mom is a Pentecostal, I like to call it the cult.
We're gonna get more hate messages.
It's okay. I grew up in there, so I can say that. She is very like, she's, all about like taking care of your man, and like the man is the head of the house. You need to be submissive to your man. And when she brings that shit into my house, I tell her all the time, I'm like, that's really hard to do because growing up and even now, you are not practicing what you're preaching, lady.
Nope.
You are not practicing what you're preaching.
Nope.
You were a badass.
Yes, she was.
Okay. You made all the decisions in your house.
Yep.
Everything ran by you.
Yep.
If you didn't say go, nothing
it still does.
went.
Yep.
And exactly. And she stays quiet. If Papa just looks at me, and I'm like,
Yes.
Come on.
Yes. Mommy had the final saying. And she was the one she was the CEO. She was the one who would say what was going to happen in her house, how it was going to happen. And not saying that, my father had no input, of course. But, this is funny because in my parents, the role was so, how can I put this? Like parenting, like my father was the provider. He was the one, my mother worked too, but he was, the provider. He chequeaba la nevera, botaba la basura, all those male roles. But when it came to parenting, at least for me, their roles would change. Like my father was like the more nurture one, and my mother was the one that was like really strong with rules and very disciplined. Really strong with rules and discipline. So it's so interesting when she says
my
those
mom
things.
too.
Yes.
My mom was the disciplinary. She was the one that she didn't play no games. Everything was a weapon.
Yes. Yes. So, I know men, you trying your best and you're supporting us and you understand the struggles and all. Pero yo creo que la mujer es la cabeza del hogar. I'm sorry.
She is. Well, she keeps everything together. She does.
Because let me tell you, the reason
just with her
why
food, the food already attracts you. You're already like weak.
The reason why, women, we're expected to do all of these things is because we actually can. Like if we really wanted, I mean, it comes at a cost, but if you really want to, you can do it all, and you can do it all right. You can do it all right.
We keep improving it time and time again. Every time we've been told no, with sports, with all kinds of things, even careers, that we can't do certain things. And we fucking kick ass and we come and we prove time and time again, because we constantly have to prove ourselves all day to every fucking body. It's exhausting,
Very much.
It's just improve ourselves in all these titles, as a mother, as a friend, as a coño, cansa. Like, how about just me being me? Is that enough for you?
Yes.
Without the gender, who am I? Just Heidi. Am I enough?
Yes.
But yeah, it like you said, it comes with a cost. And I noticed too, no matter how much we do career wise, just in general, it's like you could still continue playing the same roles as ama de casa. Like you still got to do the same thing.
Sale de una manera u otra. Tal vez no tan fuerte como salía con our mothers, pero sí sale.
Todavía sale.
Sale. Entonces it's true. Like what Maggie was saying, like, I can do it all. I could.
But I don't want to.
If I really wanted to.
But
I just don't want to.
It's not even that I don't want to. It's just, it is so unhealthy for me. It's so unhealthy for my children. It's so unhealthy for my relationship. You are like pissed off of the fact you're so tired and you resent everything and todo te molesta. Mommy, she used to work and clean and do the laundry and do this. Y ella alguna vez se levantaba, uno decía, ay, está monta.
And you knew it. All you had to do was look at her face and you're like, it is a day that you do not say a word to that lady.
Don't say anything
the yelling
to her.
all of
Become
a sudden.
invisible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, don't even.
Y era
like,
because estaban cansadas.
A veces uno quería pedirle permiso hacer una cosa y no podía because ya
tú no sabías cómo entrarle.
Pero,
no,
and
like,
then not only that, y
today's
tú
not the
la
day.
ves así, con su pique y su cara. You're like, yo, you can't even say, like, pero todavía haciendo sus oficios.
Así.
Con su pique.
Dedicated.
That's dedication.
No, dedication.
And they'll be like, oh, no es el día.
Y me tienen cansada.
Me tienen
Ya me
cansada.
tienen
Yo, my
cansada. Yo
mom used to say it
quisiera
all the
de
time.
garitar.
Yes.
Ma-
Yo un día
yes.
me voy de aquí.
Un día me voy.
Me
Y me
Yo
voy
voy.
a
quiero
cambiar el
desaparecer.
nombre. Me voy a, para que donde
Y no
en
le,
un sitio donde
oye,
nadie me conozca.
yo no le voy a dar la dirección a nadie. A
Yo,
nadie.
they had an escape plan.
They never executed it, but they did.
A cada rato mami se estaba desgaritando. Ya yo no puedo más. Yo no puedo con ustedes. Do you remember asking them for stuff? Like que tú no, ellos no tenían dinero. Dije, ¿y de dónde tú quieres que yo consiga eso? ¿Eh? Tú, en la 42 que tú quieres que yo y I'm like, before I even knew what la 42 was. Like,
Señores, no había dinero para nada.
Para
Yo me
nada.
recuerdo que mira, when I went to middle school, I went to dual language middle school, which was across the street from building
sí.
7. Y finally, you can go out to lunch. Like, your parents had to like sign that
middle
thing.
school, yeah.
Sí, y mami la firmó, que sé yo qué. And I'm so excited.
Sin
Pero
saber también.
no, ella no, óyela a ella, no hay dinero de que para tú ir a comprar lonche. Usted salga, venga para acá, yo le cocino un
Plátano.
loncho, un plátano.
Come plátano con salami para lonche.
Yes, because no. There was like at least every time that we lived in it, this was what was so confusing because living in DR, it felt like we were not rich, but it felt like we were really well off. And then we would come to New York, and I'm like, how do we get poor every time we move here? How does that happen? We're so poor in New York.
Yeah, I swear, no, I went through the same thing. Like, Mom, there was days that I'm like, I cannot even ask her. Y en la escuela, sí, we went to the same school. Behind us, Jesse probably knows. I don't know if this existed when
white
you were
truck?
the white truck.
White truck. Yes.
Oh my God, that was heaven for us. We had the white truck. Y uno nada más necesitaba, aunque sea 50 centavos.
Ni
because
eso, 25.
25, you would get like a bagel, and the lady had dirty ass hands.
I see. Oh, people got sick there. They used to get food poisoning and be in the hospital.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Y uno
¿Cómo tú
todavía iba.
sabes?
Ah,
Mentira.
No, una gente. Oye, de PS84. Los trabajadores de
Dios.
PS84 envenenados.
A white truck, yo,
Es que ese
we
white
had
truck era
everything.
cuiteo.
It was dirty. It was dirty. Y la mujer cogiendo el bagel con los dedos todos sucios sin gloves.
No, yo no comía eso. Yo lo que comía los dulces.
Yo sí. Yo
¿Tú
los
comías
dulces.
eso?
See, and I used to look at it and be disgusted, but as soon as I had that bagel.
No, I used to buy their now laters, their candy. Yo no comía
Sí,
comida.
the
Porque everybody used to
candy.
get sick.
I just no sé. I still took that shit.
Our
Pero
sixth grade teacher got food poison. He was in the hospital for almost 2 weeks. We had a
Oh,
substitute.
damn.
Because of the white truck.
Who knows if I got sick for life because of that white truck? Yo tengo un problema del estómago. That's probably. Pero yeah, we used to get the candy with 25 cents. You had like 20 candies, But look at us, we're off topic again. Pero eso es lo que quiero decir, que uno buscaba la forma de, de buscársela con 25 centavos. You were good, but there was always a struggle.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, maridos and
we could do everything. Yes.
We can do it all.
We could. And our moms were amazing, strong women. They were strong and they were very ambitious too. They wanted to be a good wife, but they also wanted, their own things. They wanted to manage their money. They work hard, right? They weren't, if they were housewives, it wasn't for a very long time. Okay, it all depends on the availability of work. Pero
Yeah,
they
because
had,
mom had to work and mom had to provide,
yeah,
and she was single for a
yeah,
long time, and then
and they
she
used
was
to do it
married,
all. Ella,
and she didn't. Yeah.
una vez haciendo limpieza para venir a limpiar y a cocinar su propia casa, en su
¿Tú te
propia
imaginas de
casa.
que tú haciendo una
Ujú.
2 o 3, because
Dos o
sometimes,
tres. Ujú.
yeah, like our aunt who
Ujú.
used to do that, she would have like
Yes.
un día 2, 3.
Yes.
Then come and
Yo
clean
iba
your
con
own
mami.
house.
Yo iba con mami a limpiar.
Yo
Yes.
también.
Mhm.
Yes, it's so funny because I was telling my husband that was like my summer vacation. I used to go cleaning with my
Yeah, I
mom
used to clean
and my
with my mom.
aunt.
Yeah.
Y después ella me decía de que tú ves, yo te traje para que tú sepas, porque yo no quiero que tú estés trabajando así, yo quiero que tú te eduques y que haga esto y que haga, and I'm like, okay, mom, okay, like,
Mhm.
And
And it was, and I used to be like, oh my God, these white people, they live so nice.
oh my
yo
God, all the
decía lo mismo.
toys I see.
Yeah, yeah.
There were certain apartments I used to love going to
Mhm.
because they had
Me
a lot of
too.
toys.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Me too.
But my mom used to always say one thing. She used to always say, usted no tiene que depender de hombre para que le dé dinero nunca. Always have your own money.
Yeah, and she
used to
still says
say-
that. She
used to
still
say,
says
Mhm.
que
that.
tú no necesites de qué.
Mhm.
Ay, necesito uno pante. Déjame ir para que, you know, so that my husband can, she's
No.
like, always
Hire
have
for
your
you.
money
Yes.
for your own stuff.
Yeah.
Never
I
depend on
agree.
anybody.
They were both very alike like that. Like
Yeah.
they made it, I don't know, maybe because they had 4 girls. And so they made it very clear, like, you don't need a man to take care of you. You don't
Mhm.
need a man. You don't have to be with a man because he has to pay your rent.
Mhm.
You are independent. You're smart. You make your own money and you have your own money. They always used to tell us that.
Yeah,
Always.
my mom, and to this day,
Mhm.
she says the same. She's like, she's
Yeah.
constantly like telling me,
Mhm.
I'm so proud of you, you know, the way you handle things, because it's something that she always like wanted me to be able to like figure things out on my own, you know, like
Yeah.
try to figure it, like, don't depend on anybody. It's never something to do. Like always
No.
try, whether it's a woman or man, no matter what it is, try to seek for yourself, because ultimately you just never know what the circumstances could be. Things could
Yeah.
change from one day to another. And how are you going to survive?
Yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
Like I
Um,
think I was telling you guys, like when I went to school, when I decided I'm going back to school, at first I was working and going to school, which was
mhm,
a nightmare,
mhm,
a
mhm.
living nightmare. But then
Yeah, that's
that was
tough.
yes. So, but then I had to go ahead and get my medical hours. So I had to do my field placement. So I could
Mhm.
not stay working and going to school
Doing
and doing
all
my
of
field.
it.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
So we had to come to the final decision as a couple that okay, you're going to have to quit your job.
Mhm.
And you know, my husband, once again, amazing. He took care and he was like, okay, you go to school, I'll work. And my mom and my aunt, they were just so supportive. They were rooting so much.
Mhm.
And they consider me a workaholic. They would
Mhm.
they always say that I work too much. So they were very afraid that I was going to quit because I wasn't bringing money.
Because you're used to
Mhm.
working.
I'm
Mhm.
used to working, and it's like my parents always used to tell me, like, you make your money, you make your money. I've never,
Yeah.
I've just, I haven't had that experience que me mantenga.
Mhm,
So,
mhm.
entonces, what they used to do was my aunt, ella tenía mucha limpieza. She would work around my schedule from school and be like, yo te voy a dar, aunque sea una limpieza en la semana, para que tú tengas algo para los toques, para tus uñas, para tu pelo, pero no deje la escuela. No deje la escuela.
Oh,
And my
that's so
mom
nice.
used to send money from DR for the same thing. Like, this is for you, para que te haga el pelo, pero no deje la escuela. So, you know, these are women that are so ambitious. They want us to grow. And they did it all. They did
Mhm.
because they didn't know any better.
Mhm. Mhm.
But
Mhm.
we do now. We
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that we are capable of it, but we don't have to do it all the time.
We don't. And this is
Mhm.
why we talk about this. By the way, your aunt and your mother by supporting you. Shit, that's dope.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. Build communities between us women. You know, sometimes it doesn't necessarily come from your mom or your aunt. And thankfully, Jesse, you had that, you know. But find yourselves a community of women that you can trust, that you can help each other out, that you can help babysit so the other one can do something and support one another, because that makes a difference, you know. We need that. We need that to push it. We cannot do it alone. So that was beautiful.
Yeah.
And it talks about, again, that dedication, like how things have changed, you know, the dictatorship from DR, everything that women were taught to be like, how we've overcome that. Even that your mother sees that, even though she grew up a certain way, she sees that your career, your education was huge. And we need that. We need to continue pushing forward. And this is why we talk about these things, because we need to know when enough is enough. We need to talk about when we're feeling tired and depleted. We don't have to show up to every single chore there is. Tú te puedes acotar y no terminar de doblar toda esa ropa si tú estás cansada. Like, just go to bed.
Just go to bed.
You don't have
go to
to
bed.
sign everything. Wake up 15 minutes earlier, take a cup of coffee, and then sign it tranquila después que tú hagas tu meditación, señores.
Yes.
You don't have to do it all. And we're saying this again because we all felt at some point, like you said, Maggie, later in the years after dating and everything, living together, got married, all of a sudden the gender roles change and all this stuff. It can always happen. It could come out of nowhere because we already have that in our bloods. But try to help one another. You men, if you're listening, please look at your girls and show them support too. Dale cariño. Be like, damn, you cooked a hot ass meal. We need that support.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you don't have to do it all. Take time to take care of yourself. Oh my God. Like, if only our mothers would take care of themselves, they wouldn't be so resentful and angry at times and so tired.
If they only took care of themselves, no se levantaran monta esos días.
Yes. Yes.
Sweet.
And let me tell you, when you do take care of yourself, you show up in such more loving and caring way, and your partner and your kids appreciate it so much.
That
They
is
just see
100.
things so much clearer, you know?
That is 100% true, because I will testify this summer, that is when my business really grew. And my son did not have summer camp because before that I was in working. So summer camp is, you have to pretty much donate a kidney to pay for it. It's insane. So he was home and my husband was working afternoons. So I will like see clients in the morning and then rush home before my husband went to work to pick up Mateo and you just take him out because it was summertime. And I'm like, he needs to be out. He needs to burn energy. He needs to have fun. We will go to like different playgrounds, in the city, to come home.
Yeah, that's so cool. You went to so many cool playgrounds over the summer.
To come home, to cook, to prepare him for bed, to do this, to feed him, to clean the kitchen then and pick up the living room and all that. I was so exhausted. I didn't have time to take care of myself all summer. I was so exhausted that I would sometimes tell my husband how tired I was and I would start crying.
Yeah.
And I found myself on some days waking up, monta.
Yeah.
Being like, el que me hable hoy,
depleted.
te jodió.
Depletion. Ya tú estabas en no freaking
Depleted.
battery.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yo lo he
depleted.
hecho. Thankfully, again, like setting those very healthy boundaries. También we talked about not being bitchy and stuff. I saw, certain things. Jesse, awesome stuff. But yeah, seriously.
Oh, to be an asshole, like,
yeah, don't be an asshole.
Set boundaries. You have to be an asshole.
We'll talk about that another podcast episode. But yeah, setting healthy boundaries and knowing when you need to take time for yourself, because your body tells you constantly. It freaking like te lo dice tan claro que si tú te levantas montar un día, todo es un coño y fuck y vaina. Like you just feel so tired. So listen to yourselves and listen to your body and
Amen.
do what you can. Yeah,
Mhm.
do what you can.
Amen.
But this episode is coming to an end very soon. And before we do that, is there any like, different views or conclusions, consejo, no sé, ¿qué quieren decirle a our beautiful listeners about our awesome podcast, content that we've been talking about, and especially this one? What do you want to say?
I just
I
had a
was-
thought about man, but that's okay.
You're gonna have to share that. You're gonna have to share
That's
that.
not fair. Eso no se
No.
hace.
No, we just thinking about like how men are now and stuff, and we're not trying to bash them or anything.
Ay,
Pero-
Dios mío, we're in so much trouble.
No, we're
No,
not in trouble.
mira,
Ellos
not for
saben
nothing.
que estamos hablando la verdad.
Sí, pero not for
Sí.
nothing, oye. En el tiempo de mami y papá, like in the 70s, 80s, even like the 90s, cuando la pareja peleaba, right? El hombre se iba para el sofá. O
Los hombres no se
ponía
van
su
ahora.
ropa y se iba. Estos
Ajá.
hombres no hacen esto ya.
Los hombres,
más.
oye,
No
ni de
quieren-
el partico se
They're
quieren ir.
like, I pay half of that rent.
Yes. Los hombres antes, okay, me voy para el sofá, o okay,
Y
I'm
le
gonna go to my
dejaban
mother's
la-
house tonight.
Ajá, y le
Ya
dejaba la
no.
sí, le dejaba la casa a la
I've
mujer. Sí,
I
ya.
told my
Ujú.
husband, you know what? You're gonna have to sleep in the sofa tonight. He's like, I got back problems. I'm not doing that.
Vete tú.
El esposo
Vete
mío
tú.
también. They don't
Sí.
do that anymore.
No, así todo el mundo back to back, enojado.
Yes.
Nobody's leaving. Nobody's leaving. Everybody's
Explíqueme
like
eso. Cualquier hombre,
territorial. Like, I ain't leaving. Nobody leaving. Mhm.
cualquier hombre que está, if you're listening to our podcast, tell us why that changed.
Eso cambió. Ellos cogieron ahora. Ellos cogieron. Yo
Ellos
no sé,
pusieron de que
un aire.
men's rights. No, ahorita hay una vaina, tú vas a ver.
No, porque you know, how many times my dad got kicked out y ese iba.
No
Sí,
one is.
yo
No,
veía.
O dormía en
nowadays.
el sofá.
Me
He'll
and
come back.
me and my ex, when we used to have arguments, este iba para donde su mamá.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Sí.
wow.
Y ese iba para el sofá. Ese iba para el sofá.
Mira.
Oh, mira,
Ujú, ujú.
mira. No, el mío hay
Ese
que
iba para el
mira,
sofá. y
drag
ese
him
iba-
out. They
Yeah.
don't
Not
do it
anymore.
anymore.
My husband does not leave the room. He'll
No.
be like, I got back problems. I can't do that.
Yes.
And
Mhm,
forget
mhm.
the house. He'll be
Yes.
like, where am I supposed to go? I'm like,
Una
you
vez
Same.
yo me
can
voy para el
find
sofá because I'm like, I'm not even going to share this bed with you. Yo
Y
me
no te
voy.
paran, ¿verdad?
In the middle of the night, he'll be like, for real? You're going to stay there? For
Yeah,
real?
yeah.
Ya, in the middle of the night? Really?
Sí.
Yo dormí
No,
como
ese lado de la
no
cama
sueño
estaba muy
aquí.
frío. He must have turned around and been like, I know, Jessica,
So funny.
back.
But
Cold that space.
any advice that I would give would be, listen, women are badass. They are.
Mhm.
They are. They just
Mhm.
are. They are badass, you know. My son not so long ago was like, mama, because papa is stronger and I'm stronger. And I said, girls are super strong because
Mhm.
girls can do so many things. I was like, mama is stronger than papa. He's like, why? You don't have muscles. I said, I had a C-section. We will go over that. when you're
Papa
older.
never had a C-section.
Okay. But even though you can do it all, because women can do it all,
We could.
pull yourself
Mhm.
first.
Yes.
Just
Put
e-
yourself
even if you want to
first.
do it all, pull yourself first before you do it all. Take care of yourself first and then take care of everything.
Yes.
Levántate, haz lo que te gusta hacer, have some time by
Sí.
yourself.
Yes.
You know,
Oh, alone
think,
time.
journal,
Get away
think,
from your kids.
get away
Yes.
from
Get
your
away from your
husband.
husband.
Get away from your
Set
boo.
boundaries.
Yeah.
Yes.
Have
Yeah.
that time.
Yes. Like I was telling you girls, like a few weeks ago, I did a solo trip and I came back so happy. Like I was looking forward to coming
Yeah,
back.
I need to do that.
I was
need to
looking
do
and I
that.
was like, I was so happy to spend time with my husband. It was just like a reset. I was
Mhm,
just
mhm.
feeling so good. And he was like, wow, you're just like very happy.
You see what happens? You
yes.
see what happens when you show up for yourself? That shit
Yes.
illuminates.
Yes, it
illuminates
does.
into everybody. It brightens everybody.
Yes.
Tú no has visto
Mhm.
gente que son like really nice, that have such a like, you could like just meet them automatically and see how
Yeah.
like
Que tiene una
they're just
energía.
una
So
energía
vibrate. Sí, so
yo,
vibrant.
so beautiful. They just by looking at them, you can see that they're just
And
like
have
pure
you,
people.
have you met the opposite?
Oh my
Yes.
God.
They don't
Esa
even have to
energía-
say anything.
Just their
Mhm.
presence is
Just
so
their
like
presence.
toxic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Protect that energy,
Yes.
guys.
Yes.
Protect it.
Listen, if that ever happens to me, please let me know, porque yo no entiendo cómo la gente andan así. Y es que ellos no saben que ellos andan con
Aburrido.
montado.
Ellos montado porque no hicieron, they didn't put themselves
Pero tú
first.
crees que ellos saben que están montados.
No, no,
Ellos
no.
tienen que saber que la vida les hiede.
Porque misery likes company.
That is true.
Misery, they were like, there's a reason why I feel nasty and you're the reason. They're going to look
Oh,
for
yeah.
that reason.
Everybody
so
else
ellos no
is the
están
reason.
montados. Nosotros estamos montados, no
Sí,
ellos.
you're the reason why
Ay,
I'm like
Dios.
this. You're the. Yo hay mucha gente así que andan así. Una persona que vive riéndose como yo por donde quiera. I'm their worst enemy.
Ay, sí,
they
Heidi,
hate
a golpe
you.
te caen. A galleta. Esta risa.
Fucking jolly little
Y tú
girl.
estás risa.
Mhm. Yo, that reminds me when we were little kids. Uno no se podía reír
I
mucho.
know. My cousin and I got in so much trouble
Yo a cada
por a
rato.
cui. That's what they used to call it. A cui.
Sí.
Mujeres,
Sí,
¿cómo que yo decía? Mujeres mundanas, nada más riéndose.
de que eso sí es feo. Oye, a mí me decía una
Eso sí es
muchachita
feo, una
riéndose.
mujer llorando, que digo, una muchachita
Una muchachita
riéndose de...
riéndose a cada rato de todo. Tú sí eres charlatana. A happy kid? What the fuck?
I'm telling you, everything was bad.
So our time is up. I know, Jesse, you do want to thank everybody for
Oh my God, yes,
that,
I almost forgot. Yes.
because it's been an hour already, so let's just go
Okay,
ahead.
so
and
it's
say
really
our
quick.
thank yous.
So we just want to give a big shout out to all of our listeners and viewers.
Mhm.
But this shout out is especially for those that listen to us in Japan. Yes, my people, Japan is represented. Germany,
Nuestra gente de
Argentina,
México.
Mexico, we love you.
España.
De todo. We want to thank you for all of your support. Maggie, which is the country that there's someone that listens to us all the time?
When you go check, like, every episode, we get this always downloads from Germany. So there's someone or people
Yes.
or a group of people or something in Germany that are constantly downloading our episodes.
Oh my God,
every
we
single
love you. We love you and thank you for supporting us. Y tú eres dominicano o dominicana.
Or are you dating a
It
Dominican?
doesn't
Want to learn
matter.
about
Like
it.
if you're not, we still love you listening to
No,
us.
I
Pero
think
estamos,
we love you a
we're
little more.
curious. Especialmente la gente de, sí, especialmente la gente de Japón.
Tokyo, Argentina,
Are you Latino?
DR. Ustedes
Mhm.
todito. Thank you
And
for
if you're
that.
not, that's okay.
Mhm.
Maybe you
Yeah, we wanna
listening to
thank
this
you.
podcast because you're trying to learn Spanish. I don't know.
Or
Let us
maybe
know.
you're dating
A Dominican woman
Dominican, and you're like,
or a
"Yeah,
man.
let me try to understand this person's. It's so complicated."
I see.
Let
Let
me
us
listen to
know.
this
We'll give you
podcast.
tips. We'll give you
Yes.
dating tips.
So please DM us. Let us know. Are you Dominican? If you're not, that's okay too. We love your support. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And keep supporting us.
Yes.
Yes.
and
Yes.
remember, continue to listen and download. Continue to share. Let everybody you know about this amazing podcast. Say it's such a good time. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna relate. Some people have cried. Just share.
Yes.
And thank you so much again for the
All the love.
support and all of the love. We're truly grateful.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yes.
Ladies, we've come to an end. Our next episode is going to be a good one. It's about sexo.
Ay, Dios mío.
Sexo.
Prepárense.
Dios
You
mío.
see,
Van a
we do
decir-
need you guys.
Tú ves. Van a decir. I mean, I guess. Yeah.
You
El
see, come
sexo.
on, Maggie, let's give them something. Okay, so just kidding, guys. Listen, yo estoy in between right now.
El
Anyway, so
sexo.
we love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll continue making it interesting. And listen, we're a good time. Just us sitting down on a regular day talking. This is the way it is. So imagínense.
Yes.
Love you. Take
Love you
care.
all. Thank you for all the support.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Hasta la próxima.
Hasta la
Hasta la
próxima.
próxima.